facilitator for today's class. Okay, so I want to share with you a few sites from the last week cohort. These are physical center. Those who know, as we are having a virtual center, don't forget that we are running three different modes for the free air in every city. For this year, we have the self-paced, and the virtual. What we are having at the moment here on Zoom is the virtual. So we have the physical centers too. They are also running their cohort physically at all our different hub and different locations in Nigeria and even outside Nigeria. So these are some sites from it. This is site from Cohort 2. This is sites from Cohort 1. And then I'm very sure that they're also having awesome movement. We have testaments for that. So about DSN, we are committed to raising a millionaire talent and BVI solution that improve the quality of life and the well-being of the 2 billion people living in the emerging market. And everything we do at DSN is towards achieving this vision. And that is why we are also hosting this training. Okay, let me really take you through how the community of DSN looks like, the DSN community. We have been recognized as the leader of artificial intelligence knowledge democratization. We have built the foremost learning and research ecosystem, and it's growing rapidly, and you all can testify to that. We have footprints in different parts of the continent and even throughout the world. We have our community in the Wales, in UK, Bradford, Halls, in Morocco, Benin Republic. We have communities everywhere, and then we have community members everywhere, scattered everywhere. So we have communities, and then we also have community members everywhere, from the coldest part of the world to the hottest part of the world. So if you are interested in establishing this as a community in your area, your community, to furthermore propagate the gospel of AI democratization, AI knowledge democratization, you can just send an email to AI community at dataScienceNigeria.ai. My colleagues on the call, Chidima, will be dropping links and then these emails that you can use to reach us. To further achieve our vision, we notice that casting them young is very important, and that is why we released this book for elementary schools, and you can have a copy. Just send an email to us. We can always get you a copy of this book. We have a community dedicated to ladies, and then as you can see, that's we call it ladies in AI. Ladies in AI, and then this community is dedicated to including ladies into this. So we have different programs for ladies, and one of it is this masterclass that was facilitated by on design thinking, and it was facilitated by Aisha Timo. Okay, and then she did very, very well in the design thinking class. And this is another dedicated program for the females from the northern part of Nigeria. It's been sponsored by Google.org, and there is a called the Arewa Ladies for Tech. We are currently taking application for the third cohort. If you are interested, you have anyone located in Kaduna State, all the senatorial district and Kaduna State, my colleague will be dropping the link for you to join the cohort, or you can just request, and then we can make the link available for you to join the cohort. Okay, so this is one of the endorsements that we got from the minister on these ladies, Arewa Ladies for Tech program that's going on at Tuna. Fair in Every City is a yearly program, and then these are some sites from previous years, as you can see on the screen. And then can you notice that this picture? Okay. Please, I want you to confirm that you can hear me. Please, I want everyone to confirm that they can hear me. Okay, yes, good, good. Thank you very, very much. Okay, good. Okay, so if you notice that this the image on the right is very similar to what so the hosted last year and also hosted this year, and that is it. We also have a community of hosting centers, all that are dedicated to democratizing this knowledge with us. Okay, so these are also images from last year here in every city. Now, DSN, we are very dedicated and committed to research, and then we are part of our community members are part of the Adepeni Daba conference, the biggest and one-year conference in Africa, which happened in Ghana last year. And then, as you can see, if you be going for this year, which we will do at Senegal, we also take a similar picture, and then you'll be part of our presentation. So just try, submit, make submissions, and then you'll be part of this, definitely. For further inclusion, we have the Francophone community. These are French-speaking countries, and then we have communities dedicated and programs dedicated to them. And that's one of it on the screen. That's Geospatial Artificial Intelligence hackathon for Earth in Solutions in Africa. Earth Solutions in Africa. That's the French tutorial that's available. You can also have this. This is available on our YouTube channel. You can always see these videos, and then you can. And if you have a friend that speaks French or that's from the Francophone community, you can always countries with them, you can always share this with them. This is one of our largest Francophone community. That's the same Mahadi hosted their first massive event with great participation. We have a community dedicated to educators. I'm very sure that this is not new to our educators here. And this program on the screen is an 8 weeks master class on generative AI. We are currently running another one, which is 6 week master class for data analysis for educators. My colleagues will also be dropping this link so that if you're an educator, you're not part of it. It is very important for you to get registered and join. So these are some products of from the 8 weeks generative AI masterclass for educators. We partner with different organizations. One of the organizations we partner with is NIDRA, that's Nigerian Diaspora America. And we train their youths for job readiness key. And this was the program we had in JOS. It was a massive one. We also had one last weekend and Abeokuta. It was also a very good, a very successful one. And then these are some of our projects for social good. Okay, now I'm very sure that every one of these call we have, especially if you have joined our previous classes, you must have, joined the Telegram group. This Telegram hour, it's a platform that allows community members to exchange knowledge. You share your project with the community, and then they contribute, and it's always an interesting one. This is the flyers on the screen are examples of previous sessions that we had. Okay, so how is that, this Telegram hour is going to come up after the free university. I'm going to start again. Don't want to work, load you up with a lot of knowledge at the same time. So this is there saying fully funded bootcamp. And then I want you to, I'm glad to announce to you that you're already on the track because it is the Free University that leads to the AI bootcamp. So there are going to be a lot of hackathons, that will filter out the best of the best that will be attending the fully funded AI bootcamp. And it's going to be a massive one. We expose the best of the best to global mentors in the realm of data science and AI. It also includes a lot of awards. And then for last year, we had about 30 speakers, who spoke, at the conference. It was knowledge fast, and you can't afford to miss it. And it's life transforming. Yeah, it is life. See that again. Okay, so there are different awards that were given at the AI bootcamp, and these are just few. There are also the different awards that are coming up. So let me quickly share with us in a few minutes some of the global impacts and recommendable recognition we got last year, 2023. One of it is this, we won the Art of Technology 5.0 Excellence Award in the AI and MA category. So for this year is coming, we did it together last year. This year, we're also going to get it. Okay, I'm very sure that you can attest to that. So whenever we just share it, just pick it up, and then, that's just it. Okay, good. Our paper, our work has been referenced in more than 15,000 instances, according to academia.edu. Okay, so our research papers have been mentioned in more than have been cited, in more than 15,000 times instances. And that's to attest to our good work, our good paper and publications. Okay, so this is in the Health Nigeria that happened at the University of that's Thomas Adewumi University, and then where we also won the best award. One of our interns won the best poster award. Okay, and then we had our AIF startup, that's SNEI. We hosted the first geospatial AI workshop at Deep Learning Daba conference at Ghana last year, and we'll be doing something very similar again this year. So we can't wait to have you around. Our partner from Digital Explorer Senior team, they supported our ROI Ladies for Tech beneficiary on internship placement. Okay, so that's one of the benefits of being a data science Nigeria community member. Internship is one of it. You know that machines are not just irresponsible. It's just a product. You can't hold machine responsible for their irresponsibility. Yes, it is man that will be hold responsible. And that's why we are owning and leading the responsible narrative in Nigeria, while positioning it as a CSR intervention. So we need to produce responsible solution without biases. And that is why this is very important for you. We have some of the recordings on YouTube. If you're interested, you can just let us know. Drop it on the chat so we can get the link across to you. We also partner with Meta to participate in a geospatial workshop in three countries: Senegal, Kenya, and Nigeria. I'm very fast so that we have a lot of time to this class, because today's class is going to be very intensive. So these are some of our products, prescribed right, that helps to understanding doctors, medical doctors, handwriting, Marco tutor, and that makes talent available for schools. And we have spot on and links that makes business visible to the world. So these are different some of our products. I also have a lot of products. We have the ULEN, and that will be shared with us very soon. Okay, this is also one of our products, that's the data fluency. It simplify our organization map, understand and plan their data development roadmap. So it is actually for organization to know and understand your data development roadmap. Are you interested in coming to the club to come and work? We have a working space. Just send your request to info.ai, where we can get all details across to you. If you are looking for a serene, good place to work, as a work on to work, you can just get across to us, info at datasciencenigeria.ai, and then we are going to reply to you on what you need to do to get a workspace at our firm. That's our training room, and then that is our robotics lab. This is the annual learning calendar for our community. As you can see on the screen, we are currently running the AI bootcamp/AI classes. As you can see, that's what we are currently doing, and it's interesting one. I know you can attest to that. To view the calendar, I can just scan this barcode or use the link below. My colleagues will be dropping those links. Okay, good. So free AI classes in the university. I think it is time for me to introduce Emmanuel. Okay, so that's our tutor for today, and so that I can take up the mic and then start uh, teaching us and taking us through this. So let me stop sharing. Okay, so please, with your favorite emoji, I want you to please celebrate Emmanuel Russos as he comes forward and then starts the free AI classes on machine learning with Azure. Okay, good. So over to you, Emmanuel. Please, with your favorite emoji, let me see your favorite emoji. Ruatoye, thank you. Who else is dropping this? Is our favorite emoji? Okay. Okay, Zololo Atoye, I'm still expecting more emojis to celebrate Emmanuel as he comes forward. Wow, Sylvester, good, awesome. Yeah, Monday Afa, well done. Thank you very much. So, Emmanuel, over to you.
Hi everyone, good morning, and it's glad to be here with you. Please, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you clearly.
Okay, thanks. Kudos to DSM for this opportunity. So my name is Emmanuel, and I'd like to introduce myself. I was just like you guys too. I was a student of DSN, so I was learning AI advanced with Python, machine learning with Python, and from there, so I was able to get to be able to certify through their program. And okay, okay. So today now, so free AI in every city has been running for the past for last month, and it has about 8 cohorts. So and this is the cohort 4, which is based on machine learning with Azure, which I'm about to present to you today. So let me share my screen. Okay. Please, can you screen my screen?
You can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. So yes, so let's start our program for today. So today now we are beginning with machine learning with Azure. So machine learning with Azure, what does it entail? So I believe this course has many aspects that will be running for the whole 5 days. So on day one, which is today, we are going to start with designing a machine learning solution. So so on day 2, which is Tuesday, we'll be doing machine learning. So we're going to be introducing ourselves to the workspace. So we are going to be like getting our hands dirty. We go to the Azure portal, to the platform, like what is Azure? You keep hearing about Azure, like how does it look like? How do you make use of this? So we are going to be going there tomorrow, which is day 2. On day 3, so we're going to be working on experimentation and optimization. So experimentation is like is when you are working out many experiments guys have at least a beginner experience of what management entails. So when we are experimenting, how to build models to do something for you. So how to check that the model is good or not, or what you need to use to make it the service you are going to need. So we are going to be learning that on day 3. And now finally on day 4. So when you have built your model with your data and the model is ready. So now how do you now manage it? How do you track it? How do you deploy it? How do you get it ready for production? So that's what day 4 is all about. So, and day 5 now, we are going to be working on the project together. So an end-to-end project where we are going to be applying everything we've done from day 1 to day 4. So we are going to put it all together to make a simple project. For we are going to build a model type that predicts diabetes, and we're going to deploy it. So we're going to be testing the endpoints if it's working or not. So by passing in data. So through this, you're going to be you'll be able to get industrial knowledge on how you can apply machine learning using Azure platform. So the objectives of this program, machine learning with Azure, it is to give you expertise and skills and knowledge on how to apply data science and machine learning to implement and run machine learning workloads on Azure. So we said machine learning with Azure. I believe we all here are not beginners. Although if you are beginners, that's still all right. We will send you some cheat sheets that you can go to get you started. So the first objective of this program is to teach you how to apply machine learning workload on the Azure. We all know what Azure is. So if you don't know, Azure is a cloud platform made by Microsoft. It also has other ones. There's also one called AWS by Amazon. There is a Google GCP by Google, or the one by Oracle. So our own program this we're using the cloud platform by Microsoft named Azure to implement our machine learning workloads. So and second and the most important aspect, second objective of this course is for you guys to be able to this program is made for you guys to be able to take the exam. So everybody that attends this program from Monday to Friday, you are all going to be eligible to take this exam, just like I did. So you're able to take all these skills, then all this knowledge and skills you be gaining for the whole week, for the whole 5 days, and then you go and take the exam. So I would like you if you take this a little bit more serious. I don't know how your what was your intention coming into this program? Maybe you just want to come and say, okay, well, what is it about? I want to assure you that yeah, you are here to learn, and not just learn alone, but be satisfied, be a certified product thanks to DSN. So now, before we start, I believe you guys know this course is not a fundamental course. Unlike the courses we did in Cohort 1, 2, and 3, this course has some prerequisites, like you need to know some machine learning terminologies. You need to know what we call supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning, and all this. And Python, you need to know how to use Python. And you need to know how to use some of these packages, because these are what you are going to be applying on the cloud platform. So, but if you don't know all this, don't worry, you are going to be sending some link to the cheat sheets inside the chats for you to just go through and learn them. So this is to get you up to speed. You need to have experience building in machine learning, but all these are important, but it's still okay. Don't if you are a beginner who doesn't know anything at all, I will still encourage you to please just put all your effort into this, because this chance, this is one of the most important programs to get into AI. So please, if you are a beginner, any resources that we drop, all the curriculum will be dropping, everything you're going to be saying, please just take a note, take a pen and paper, put something down, then apply it. So of course, another prerequisite is for you to have a Azure account. So I've been seeing that one of my colleagues is already dropping the links. Yeah, I've been showing you the steps on how to create your own Azure accounts. So you need to have what we call Azure subscription. So you need to do one by creating an account. You can check the charts. Everything is still dropping in the charts by my colleague. So you should you can make sure you create an account, because you need to be able to use all this. You need to be able to apply all this for everything to stick, and for able to take the exam and pass. So now, starting with our lesson for today, we are designing a machine learning solution. We are going to be covering 4 areas of a focus. The first one is design a data ingestion strategy. The second one is design a model training strategy. Third one is design a deployment solution. And last is design a machine learning operation. So what does all these 4 things mean? So let me start with what is machine learning. I believe you guys know that AI, we know what artificial intelligence is, right? Basically, the goal of artificial intelligence is to be able to do things with human-like intelligence. The goal of AI is to support human being, because we believe human beings are the most intelligent among the animals. So in making our intelligence, we're able to computer will be able to do things without us instructing them to be able to do things without us guiding them or showing them or like instructing them all the time. They're able to do work for us and support us. All the AI is meant to support we human being. So machine learning is an aspect of AI. It's an aspect of AI and computer science that deals with teaching building models. It's an aspect of that to build models and to give computer human-like intelligence by giving them by teaching them with data and algorithms. So, and what an algorithm is and what is data? So, data is anything that you can think of. An example of data is text, SMS. Maybe you went to the hospital and you are checked by your doctor. So, you write all your all the test results out. That's a data. So data is very important to machine learning. So now let's go over what we call the machine learning process. So all these modules that we see that we cover today, they are based on the machine learning process. So let's continue. So now the first thing, before you encounter on the machine learning problem or any machine learning task, first thing you do is you need to define the problem. You need to like, okay, what is the problem? Like, what are you trying to do? you need to understand what the problem is, like in a business sense. For instance, maybe you are working in a stockbroker company. Now, someone has access to many of their customers' data. Like, so what can be the problem they are trying to face? So is it that they want to increase the number of stock they are making per week, or they are trying to increase the customer retention? So you need to first define the problem, like, oh, what's the problem you are trying to solve? You need to first understand it. So then, so because this is very important, because it's going to tell you the kind of data you need to use. There are kind of data. It's not all data you need to use for a particular task. So when you define the problem, you'll be able to understand, okay, this is kind of data I need to use. I need to get this that will be able to train the model. So now the second thing is you need to get the data. After you know, okay, you know the problem and you know the kind of data you need to use, then you get the data. So so when you get the data, you understand the data, you will understand everything about the data. So I'm going to be going through all this on the Azure platform. So now the third thing you do is you prepare the data. Yes, you've gotten the data. And it wasn't easy getting the data. Maybe you got it from public data sets, or you get it yourself locally by using your own sensors or device. So the next thing is, well, you must prepare your data, because all the data you got, most of the time, they are not usually in a good format, or at least it's not good enough to train the model to give you a good result. So you need to prepare the data, you need to process it, and make sure that you need to there is going to be some errors, some missing data. There's going to be many errors, or the loss, or something wrong with data. So you need to prepare the data and make sure that it's in the good format for your machine learning task. Then after you are done, then you need to train the model on data. So the kind of algorithm you are going to use, you already know it by when from the first instance when you are defining the problem, you already know that, okay, I need this kind of data and I need this kind of algorithms. We all know we have many types of algorithms. So we have what we call linear regression, logistic regression, k-means clustering. So all these things you need to you need to have some basic encounter with them or knowledge. So you need to know, okay, this is the one I want. But when you find your problem, you'll be able to know that, okay, my problem is a clustering problem, or it is a classification problem, or it is a what? Regression problem. So from knowing all this, you'll be able to know the best algorithm. So this in the fourth part, that's where you know that, okay, so you prepare your data. Now you need to apply that particular algorithm you've chosen, then you train it on the model. So when you train the model and you've evaluated it and it's giving you a good result, then you need to integrate the model. You need to integrate. That means that you need to deploy the model for use. So because the model, so it's not done, the model is not done until it's used by the intended user. That means your customer, or but maybe you are making it to use by a company. So that's also your customer. So you need to deploy the model and get it. So after deploying, you need to also monitor it, because something happens over time. A model that's performing when you build the model and you deploy it, and it was performing with at least 97% accuracy, or 97, or with a good performance in year one. In year two, that might not be the case, because things change, data change, technology change, and many things change. Your customers too. The parameters you are using to analyze them or take data, the parameters to change over time. So you need to keep monitoring your model to make sure that your model is giving a good performance.
Hello, everyone. Please confirm you can still hear me. Oh, hello, David. So just a minute while we try to get our facilitator back on the call. I think he's having technical issues from his end. So just give us a few minutes while we bring him back on the call. Thank you.
Hello, sorry, there was a technical issue with my network, but I'm back now to continue.
Welcome back, Mr. Emmanuel. Yes, so we can hear you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
please, can you remind me where I was when I got cut off? Because I can't. I hope I wasn't too long. I wasn't away for too long.
No, 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 no. It wasn't for too long at all. So you can just continue.
Okay, thank you. So, like I was saying, so when you prepare the data, you train the model using the particular algorithms that you'll be using. Because while defining the problem, you've already gotten that, okay, this is the kind of problem I want to solve. With your knowledge on machine learning terminologies, you already know that, okay, the kind of problem you are trying to solve is a regression problem, is a classification problem, or it is a clustering problem, and so on and so forth. Or is it a computer vision problem? So you'll be able to know the appropriate algorithms to use. So now after that, then you integrate the model. That is, you deploy it into what we call online for use by the customer. So after deploying it, so you need to monitor the data because you need to monitor the model, sorry. Because things changes can be due to technological change, data change, or the user, maybe their behavior changes because the data is gotten from a particular source. So maybe there is a change from the source or even parameter is being added. So you need to monitor your model that is still functioning, is still relevant in that aspect. It's still relevant after some years. So when you monitor it, you'll be able to deploy or maybe make some changes to it. So this process is not a waterfall model. Basically, what do you guys do have a computer science background? So waterfall means that something that is straightforward, like just start from A to C and then you are done. No, it's an iterative model, it's continuous. You don't stop at one, you don't stop at one step. So you keep extending the model until you get a good product. So let's start with the first. Let's go in depth to let's go first to our first part of the module, which is the design a data ingestion strategy. So the first thing you do, this the one lesson is like it's giving a good overview of what you are going to be doing. Because all these things, it's just today is more of an introduction to everything you are going to be doing over the whole week. So this module one talks about the data ingestion strategy. That means, so since you define the problem that you are trying to solve, so how do you make the data available to your machine learning, to your model for training purpose? So you need to design a typical strategy. So let's go over to the Azure. Let me see if I can. Um, let's see. Okay. So now this is our please kindly confirm. Can you see my screen? Can you see the curriculum? Hello, can someone please confirm like my screen is showing the curriculum, please? Hello, Ajio, Bukumi or Sejimola, can someone please confirm that my screen is displaying the
Hello.
yeah,
Yes,
please
so
can
you're
you see
asking
my
something.
screen? Yes, I
No,
can
can still see
can
what we
is
are
it
seeing
can
is
you
your
see the
slide.
slide? Okay,
So if you want
I
to share
will
another screen, you have to stop sharing this, then share the slide, share the screen you want to share.
yeah, okay. Thank you. So I think yes. So please, is it showing the right is it showing the curriculum now?
Yes, you can see the curriculum.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, so now over this is our curriculum for this whole week. So starting with today, we are starting with the process of building a machine learning solution. So the first thing you do, so let me just go to this website again. This is a platform you go to. You go to portal.azure.com. Okay, so now you type enter. So this is a platform. This is a platform that we'll be using. Like I said initially, like I said earlier, I said we have many cloud platforms. We have Azure, we have Azure, we have Google Cloud Platform, and we have Oracle, and so on. So the one we are using, our program is based on is teaching you how to use Azure. So when you get started, so you can see how you guys can go and use the instruction my colleague sent you in the chats platform, in the Zoom chats on how to get your own trial. So now, so this is a platform. This is how the platform looks like. Okay. So today I won't be going further into that. Today just to introduce you to the to what we are going to be doing all over the week. So this is how the platform looks like. So now the first thing we'll be doing our own week. This is possible. We are going to be teaching you what it means to design a machine learning solution on the Azure platform. So the first thing you do is you create a data ingestion strategy for your machine learning project. So Azure gives many solutions for an ingestion strategy. Okay, so depending on the data you need, depending on the data the kind of data you have or where your source is. So there are many solutions that you can use. Let me see. Wait. So the first thing is like just like I said. So after defining the problem, like the kind of problem you want to solve, from the work given to you by the work given to you by the maybe your employer or the client. So you'll be able to know the kind of tax they want to do. So now, so the first thing is that you need to identify the source. Like, okay, which kind of data am I working with? Like, where is the source? So now the first thing, so the next thing after you first of all look at the data source. Yeah, you need to identify the formats. Yeah, the first thing you do. Okay, so this steps of data ingestion strategy, we also call it ETL or ELT, right? So ETL or ELT means extract, transform, and load. Extract is when you get data from the source. So after getting from the source, you have to transform it. So after transforming, you have to load it to a serving layer. that is going to send this to the model training platform that we are using. So sorry, let me put this on. So now, so the first thing you do in your ELT or ETL process, they are all the same thing. When you say extra transform load, it also means extra load or transform. They basically mean the same thing, that depending on what your task might be, you might want to extract it first, then either transform or load. Then either transforming before loading or loading before transforming. That depends on the kind of task you are working with. So now after identifying the data source, that means the data, where is it coming from? Is it an IoT data, or is it coming from a SQL database? Yeah, so then from this you have to know, okay, if you are getting an IoT data, of course, IoT means kinds of things. Any data you get from IoT device or machine will not be in words, will not have a schema, will not be structured. So it should be unstructured. So you'll be able to know the formats that you should be expecting. So now you should know the kind of what we can do with it. But if it's something that is coming from something like is transactional information, that, for instance, a customer relationship management system, you know, the data is going to be structured. It's just going to follow a schema. So now the next thing you do is you identify the data source. So the data source can be CSV, or usually it says all tabular and structured data, just like I said, that if you are getting it from a customer relationship firm or something like that, okay, that contains a name and a person's name and their information. So it generally has all these things. It normally has it's normally in a tabular form or structured form. So it can be like this. There's going to be an ID, and all these things are the features. And all these are the data. The format can also be semi-structured. If your data comes from an IoT, so it's going to be semi-structured. So it can be in JSON. Okay, so it can be in JSON like this. So it's going to be in this format like this. So or unstructured. Unstructured are like images. So someone that maybe you know that the kind of problem you're trying to solve is a computer vision related problem. You know that you're going to be having unstructured data like videos, documents, images, and so on, including audio as well. So now after you are done with the first step of identifying the data source, knowing the format, then your work is not done. You need to make sure that the data is in desired data format. So for instance now, you have a JSON from an IoT. Your model doesn't know, can't take in data. It can't work with JSON data, right? So you need to confirm, you need to convert JSON objects to a table. A CS, you need to convert it to a format of a table for use. Do you understand? But let's say that the data you are using was originally in the tabular format already. So you don't need to do this one, but if you summon in JSON from that, so you need to convert it to like this by using Python. Then you convert it to like this. So after putting it, so all the data you are getting won't be everything you need, right? You might have to drop some features. For instance, now from this machine, the device ID is irrelevant to us. So you drop that one, you leave the data. So now maybe what you are trying to do is that you are not trying to because this data is annual data. So it's something that samples almost all seconds or minutes. Okay, so maybe you just want to be using per hour. So then you still need to change this format from this. After dropping the ID column, they need to make sure that you get the sample every 1 hour or every one minute. Okay, so then that's format. So then so you are not true with your design your data ingestion strategy. So the next thing you now do is you need to Azure for storing data. Azure has many offerings. It has blob storage. So if your data is an unstructured data or CS in certain formats, Azure blob storage is best for you. But if your data is on unstructured data like images, videos, audios, or it's CSV, but it's high. Like I mean, maybe the size of that the data that you have is about 1 gig or 1,000 gigabytes. So you can the best is to use data lake storage because that one is meant to store large volumes of data. And if the data is a structured data, that means it has a schema, is tabular form already. then the one you should use is Azure SQL database. So there are some steps that can also help you in identifying the correct format for structure. So this is one of the another format. So you can see. So when you look at data you have, so if it's MySQL, then you use SQL database. If it's PostgreSQL, then you use Azure database. So these are other ways for you to know the kind of serving software platform for you to use on the Azure platform. So so after you've gotten your data in the correct format, you know the kind of serving layer. That is, maybe you are going to be using data lake or block storage. Block storage are what you're going to be commonly using if your data is not that huge. So then since I used to devise a solution, a pipeline of sorts. So as on machine learning, so for you now to create that data ingestion pipeline on Azure, you can use Azure Synapse Analytics. Okay, this one is the best for when your data is in JSON format, and you can use it using Python, SQL, and R. So Azure database, when your data is maybe you are working in a notebook, like the Jupyter notebook. Okay, Jupyter notebook is a software. And it's like an IDE that you use to experiment with, to make experiments, carry out experiments when you're trying to build a model. You use it to run your code Python, use to train the model. So if the Azure database is a stable one for you. And if you want to use so Azure machine learning, this is a platform. There's on this Azure, we are going to be looking more into that later. On Azure, after creating your model, let me see. After creating your resource, then there's a place you can go to. Or let me just enter it here. Let me just go to that website directly. Let me just go to that website directly. Instead of going to portal, instead of going to the portal.azure.com to go and create an Azure machine learning workspace. Then you can just go to ml.azure.com. Okay, so from there you can see, you see all the office, you see everything we. Yes, so good. So from here now you can now start working on your Azure machine learning using the machine learning studio. Okay, let me continue. So these are the three ways you can do your ingestion pipeline plot. I will encourage you, because our course is based on using the machine learning with Azure. So this Azure machine learning is what we'll be focusing on. This is the third option we'll be focusing on in our course. So then you now design a data ingestion strategy, okay, using the ETL. So you extract the data from the source, either from IoT or CRM. Then you now copy data with Azure. Now this is a sample one. Then you store the data in Azure block storage. And the final one, you now train the model using Azure machine learning. Okay, so inside the Azure machine learning, then from here you can have access to Azure block storage, or kind of the platform you want to use as the serving layer of your data, right? So we are not dealing with, okay. So yes, so we are not through with the fourth aspect of our. Let me see. Okay, so now we are not done with how to design the data instruction for machine learning projects, right? So you go to another source and formats. Make sure that it's the format that you want. You choose how to serve the data. Okay, by using Azure, looking at the format of this kind of data you have, you can use Azure Synapse or block storage. Then you cannot design a solution. So this thing can make it automated. You can make it automatic, right? So the next thing is how. So now you've gotten how to design a data ingestion strategy. So the next thing you now work on is how do you design the machine learning model training? So how do you design the machine learning? Like, how do you train the data? Okay. this is the part you go to after for your data. So next thing is how to design the machine learning model. Like how do you actually train the data? Okay. So the first thing, just like I said in the machine learning process, you need to first define the problem. Okay. The kind of problem that you are looking at as a machine, someone who is not new to machine learning, or if you are new to it. So let me send the we send the cheat sheets later for you to check on how to for cheat sheet on let me see where is it. I can have it somewhere here. See here. Okay. So if you are new to Python, I recommend you to please to where is it? This will get you started on Python. So I'm sending the links to the so try and study this code because later on we are going to be working with building codes. So now machine learning. So if you are new to machine learning and you don't know what it entails, so I will recommend you go through this article by data count. I will send the link to you now, so you can go through it. So all this should get you started with some of the terminology you are going to be using in this course, so that you won't get lost. You'll be able to be using some terms. So now let me continue with my presentation. Okay, so now, we are still working on the second part, which is identify the machine learning, designing a machine learning model. We talk about data now, on how to get data to the platform, to the Azure platform, right? So now the next thing is that, okay, now you want to use the machine learning. Like, how do you know the kind of model to use? So since in the first instance of the machine learning process that I said the first thing is to define the problem. So the problem is that when you look at the kind of problem you want to solve, from that's when you know the kind of model you are dealing with. So there are most problems that you are going to be dealing with, right? They are either going to be either one of these. So if the problem you are trying to solve is one that where you are going to be predicting a categorical value. When you talk about categorical value, it's something that deals with maybe 1 or 0, true or false. So you get this is a logic problem. When you look at the your data, right, and what you are trying to predict is something that this with a categorical value, then it's automatically a classification problem. So you would know the kind of algorithms you will use, okay, for your machine learning tasks. So the next thing is the regression. So regression, what if you are trying to predict something that is numerical in value, okay? Just like when you are trying to predict a stock, the stock, or you are trying to predict the price of a house, depending on some parameters, you are predicting number values. Okay, you're not predicting true or false. Maybe something is true or false, depending on some, but depending on some parameters or some features. You are predicting a number, right? Like depending on this kind of number, for instance, now a realtor now, that is people that deals with selling of houses. They want to predict when they can sell, right? So depending on maybe the value of the house, maybe how the house looks like, the years the house has been, maybe it's still new, maybe it's, some parameters like has there been any incident in the house? All these things, we are going to automatically determine the price of the house, right? So the price is a number. So these are kind, so you know, okay, automatically you are working with a regression project. So the next thing is time series for forecasting. This one is when the data you work with is a data that is time series based. Okay, most IoT data they are all IoT based, but your problem might not be that is calculating time. The data has to be changing. Okay, it has to have a temporal that means it has to have a relationship with time, okay? So that's when you can use time series for forecasting. So now when the computer vision, when you want to do is a computer vision project, right? Maybe what they are trying to do is that they're trying to identify objects, okay? Maybe they say that, okay, they want to, maybe for a farm or in a farm company, they want to be able to easily identify bad ripe fruits from unripe fruits, right? So the best thing is, you know, that you are going to be working with images. You won't be collecting data in text. Okay, you're not going to be collecting data in text. You're going to be working with images, right? So then you know that, okay, automatically you're working with what? A computer vision task. So then you are going to select some of the computer vision algorithms that are available there. So now if the work you are trying to do is extract insight from text, like for instance, maybe you are trying to get insights. For instance, maybe you are trying to scrape data, they're trying to check that maybe a company now, they want to check their sentiment analysis. Like they want to, okay, they want to know how people feel about their product, right? And they want to use Twitter people as a source, right? So now you are going to get all the data from Twitter. Then you are going to, so since you are working with extracting insights from text, right? You are not predicting maybe something true or false, or you are predicting a normal value. No, you want to get insight from text. So something like sentiment analysis, like how they feel about them, what people are saying about their product, or something like that. Then you know your task this reward natural language processing. So you know from all this now, you have to know that, okay, this is the kind of task I'm dealing with. Then you'll be able to select the appropriate algorithm. So the next thing is that after knowing the kind of tasks that you need, they need to pick the model. So Azure platform offers all this. Azure platform also offers Azure machine learning, right? For you to as the service that will train the model. Azure database also is also offered by Azure platform. Azure Synapse Analytics is also offered by the Azure platform. Azure AI service is also offered by the Azure platform. So you need to know when to use either of these. So these are some of the benefits for using one over the other. When you use AI service, that means you don't want to waste, you don't want any effort, you don't want to code anything at all. You just want models that have been built already. Then you just use them and apply it to your data. You are not going to be editing, you are not going to be modifying anything. So using Azure AI service will be the best bet for you. So maybe if you want something like you want to keep your projects and want to keep all the data related to your projects and keep working in the same service. Azure Synapse and Azure Database we're going to be best for you. So now when we come to Azure machine learning, so Azure machine learning with Python, it's going to give you more control over your work. All right, it's going to give you, it's going to be able to, you can be able to monitor the data. You're going to be able to see the data. Okay, you want to evaluate it. You want to say, okay, the data, the model you build, you want to be able to like have full control over it, right? So now, Azure machine learning is the one that give you most control, and using Python. And okay, so now the next thing is, okay, you've decided on the kind of tasks you're working with, right? The next thing is that you decided on the platform that you want to use Azure machine learning or Azure AI service or so on. So now the next thing is that you have to decide on the compute options you're going to be using. So Azure offer many types of compute options for you. Some are CPU based, while other are GPU based, right? So now for someone who is running a computer that's only a computer vision project, the best thing for you to do is with GPU, because that's going to be computer intensive, right? Like it might take forever to train your model. So the best thing is to use what we call a graphical processing unit. But if your data is just text and it's not much, doesn't have many samples, CPU is okay for you. And NVIDIA also offer what we know as Rapids. So this is out of scope of the project. So you can also look into Rapids by NVIDIA that quickly offers you GPU that you can customize to run your projects. So now, in Azure, they refer to all these things either general purpose or memory optimized. Okay, so now, for general purpose CPU, you know that one, this kind of compute. So when you talk about, let me see the computer. When you talk about compute is like it talks about the RAM size, the CPU size. That means the speed. It can be that is the speed of the processor. That would be like something of 1.8 gigahertz speed or 2 point something gigahertz speed or 4.0 gigahertz speed. So now then the RAM size can be 8 gigabytes RAM, and the third one is the size of the size of the temporary hard disk you are using. All this contributes to the speed of how the model can speed up and quickly train your model. So maybe it can be SSD or HDD. So when you are going for general purpose, you know that you are going for the one that is best for testing and development. So for memory optimized, sorry, I have to attend to something. So when I'm working with memory optimized, so it's ideal for when you are dealing with a lot of data sets in your notebooks when you are in development phase. So now, as also over what we call Spark. Spark is a service that uses clusters, what we call clusters. That means a bunch of computes that you can easily use, such as machine learning. That maybe you have a large data set that you are training. So this Spark, you relate to be able to like run everything in parallel, right? So it's going to it's going to be able to deploy many what we call cluster. That is a simple virtual machines that you can distribute the workloads that you can make it very fast. So the options that they are going to be looking at through this later on. Then and you can also while doing the configuration on Azure platform, you can also monitor the complete visualization. Like every time you train a model, how long does it take to train the model and how much compute is used? So by monitoring it, you'll be able to, okay, I don't really need this much of compute, then you'll be able to go for lower. Because the reason all these things is talking about cost. You get me? So when you are using GPU, it's going to cost you more. When you are using memory optimized, it's going to cost you more than using general purpose. So you need to be able to know the kind of the one that is ideal for you. So these are what you need to take into consideration, because all these things will cost you. It's part of the cost. So now, so those are the three the aspects of that's the aspect of doing the machine learning model. Like the modeling aspect, how do you know what kind of model you use? You identify the machine learning task that you are working with. Is it computer vision task? Is it classification task? Is it regression? Then you choose the layer. Are you using AI? Don't you want to do any coding at all? You have more control on how the codes work and for Azure machine learning. So now after deciding the service to train your model, then you must decide on the compute options. This compute option, those that from GPU is more expensive to least expensive, from GPU to memory optimized and to general purpose. So you need to be monitoring. So when you deploy and you are training your model, you need to be monitoring it so you can know that, okay, maybe if it's taking too long and it's utilizing all the resources, because all these compute options is going to offer you. I said it earlier. I said it again. So it offers you all this depends on the RAM. It's going to give you. It's going to depend on the RAM size, the CPU speed, and the hard disk, the SSD. Maybe the size of the SSD, or you're going to be using HDD. You know, when you go for SSD option, it's going to be more faster than using HDD. So then from there on, you're able to decide on the machine learning model training solution that you want. So now, after you are now done with training your model, so you need to make it available for your user, right? So the model is not done until it gets to the hand of the user. So, and you need to know you need to know the requirement for deploying your model solution to the customer. So now, so let's go over it. So now the first thing is you need to understand how the model will be consumed. Okay. For instance, now after you finish, you design a data integration strategy, right? And the data is made available to your platform, and you know the kind of model you want to use, the compute options and the serving layer. Then you train those models on those compute options on that data that you ingested. That is you take into the platform. So after training it, so the next thing you do is you design on how do you want the customer to consume it. Do you understand me? So it's that okay, there are two types of way a customer can consume the model. It can be real time or batch. It all depends on your use case. Okay. So when you talk about real time inferencing, real-time inferencing is when the customer wants to get the like when they use the when the customer uses your model that you build and they want to get results in real time, the instant they send something to it and they get the result back instantly. That's when we do that. Okay, you need what we call real time. Your what the deployment model is going to be real-time based, right? But if it's something that maybe it's something that you only use that model to get to when you only use that model to make predictions once or maybe just asynchronously. That means it's not like it's not every time you keep running the model. Maybe just do it once a week or once a month. So you need what we call batch. That means all the predictions you want to make, you are going to send it at once, and you are going to get and you are going to send it to it at once, and you get the results after it has finished running. So you don't. It's not all the time. It has to be running. So all these things I want you to consider because if you are using, it's not all situations you are going to be needing real-time predictions, right? But all these things will affect costs. It's going to determine, all this is going to charge you. That means using any cloud platform charges you. I know that some of you have experience with using cloud resources already, either Azure or AWS or Google Cloud. They charge you for the service you use. So you need to know that, okay, the one I want is real time, the one I want is batch. So how do you know all this? So now let's say that your customer, let's look at this real case scenario now. So now let's imagine that you are building you have a website, right? Your company has a website or your product catalog. So the customer, so when a customer click on any of your product, you recommend something for them. You get so based on what they click, you want to give them a recommendation. You can't make this one batch. You can't make this one batch because they want to get it real time. So you have to give them the recommendation in real time. So your model that you build to give them the recommendation, it has to be in real time. So these are use cases where real time is best. So when you want to get batch predictions, this one is when you are working with large volumes of data, right? When you don't need to get the results instantly, or like you know that the need for the predictions is not instantaneous. Examples when you train the model now for sales of future week, you don't need to get the data instantly. You can just run all the parameters to it, and then you now save it somewhere. So the whole point of batch is for you to be able to get use your model to make predictions, get the result, and save it somewhere. So you can use it for visualization later on. So this is usually the case when you are working with forecasting. When you are working with visualizing, using something for historical visualization. So when you send all the new data to the model in batches, you get the result, then you save it somewhere. So batch prediction is better. It's best for something that needs to be run periodically, not something that has to be run that you don't need the result instantly, but maybe periodically to be checking something. Maybe for instance now you need to be checking the health of your, maybe you send a model to be checking maybe the machine is spoiled. So now the model that you build, the result doesn't have to be instantaneous, right? It just have to be in batch, maybe once a week. Something will trigger the model to the IoT to send its data your system to get the current working parameters the current working parameters from the IoT machine, right? From the industrial machine. Then it's going to score it. Then it's going to store the data somewhere. So that's what we call batch prediction. So you need to know the work, the scenario. You need to understand on all this. So now Let's continue. So when you want to deploy your model, we normally deploy it to what we call endpoints, right? So endpoint is just like endpoint is not is a web technological term. It's not really a complex something to understand. It just means that it means that how do you expose the model that you built and deployed? How do you expose it for use by the consumer, right? So that's what we call endpoints. So it can be the endpoints. So now depending on the use cases I just said, the first one is if you want to you need the model to predict on the new data or store the data as soon as it comes in, then you know that you are going to be you need to use what we call real-time inferencing model. So now if it's going to be it needs to be just shared, it needs to be on the schedule, right? As on a period, then you need to use what we call batch. So now so now this depending on whichever use case that you want to do, all this is going to depend on is going to you need to consider the cost of compute. Okay, so when you are using real-time prediction, the best is to use what we call container technologies, right? I know some of you are not new to what we call Docker instance and Azure Docker instance, or what we call Azure. So you need to do so these container technologies are what are the best because they minimize the environment and the package, the size of your program. So you won't be needing much compute size. You are just exposing the endpoint for use, right? So now the best is to use what we call Azure Container Instance or Azure Kubernetes Service. The idea for when you are dealing with real-time endpoints deployment. So when we are working with batch predictions, yeah, I know normally when you are working with batch predictions, you normally send a lot of something for it to deal with, and it will sort the result somewhere. So the best is to use what we call complete cluster. Okay. So now depending on whichever you use, there is a cost to them. So you need to know the one that is best for you. And it also happens that the one for batch, when you use a batch deployment endpoint, right, it's cheaper than when you use real time. So you need to consider your use case you need to carefully, so you can choose the best one for the customer or for the use case or for your model. So now we are done with the third module, which is the third module of designing a machine learning solution on Azure. So now we talk about the data ingestion strategy. We talk about the machine learning model training solution, how you use about how you deploy it. You need to design it. Okay, am I using is it in real time that the model needs to be used, or is in batch? Okay, so this one it depends the compute you are going to be using. If you are going to be using the real time, you need to be using what we call Azure Kubernetes, the container instances or Kubernetes service. So if you are using batch, you'll be using what we call complete cluster, which is cheaper than using the one for real time. So now, when we are not done, your work is still not done. So you need to consider what we call MLOps, right? So what's MLOps? MLOps means machine learning operation. This is very similar to when we talk about DevOps, right? So the whole point of the whole point of MLOps is to decrease the time between development and production. As you go further into the course, you are going to be learning that you need to when you work with when you are experimenting with data or with a model to build a model, make carry an experiment, right? So you need to know that you'll be using you'll be using a particular set of resources that is the best for them that will give you the best cost. So when you are using the so when you are doing that in the development stage, so when you are now making it used for production, there are some compute that is best for them. So you need to be able to know the one to use in both case scenario. So and the whole point of MLOps is to decrease the time between experimentation and production. Imagine that okay, now you've already made a model which is very good. It has 99% performance, right? You made it for the customers to use, and they are using it and getting good results. So maybe after a year, you want to change the model, you want to make it more robust. Because after a year, a model that is working in 2013 cannot serve again in 2040 because technological changes, data changes, things change. So you need to make sure that you're able to modify your model and make it better, make it more robust. So imagine that you didn't implement the ML operation in place, and your model as the performance is decreasing over time. Okay, so for you now to develop the model again and make it more robust, you didn't you didn't implement an MLOps solution in place. It's going to take you long. Yes, so this is going to cost you because on your production, the model there is already performing badly, right? So and for you to get the new model that is better, right, it's taking you maybe a month because it didn't implement. So now, what can you do to bridge the gap from the development to production? That's what MLOps is all about. That means that it's going to know how to automate the process for you, right? So now, we call that MLOps. So you need to know what you call MLOps architecture in Azure. So now, when you are doing the MLOps architecture, so you need to do what we call environment, right? So now, in the development stage, that is the production stage, when you are experimenting with the training model, because before you make that model, you need to experiment with it, you need to test it, you need to evaluate it, you need to do many things. You need to write your code and test it on data, then test on training data, test on the test data, validation data, right? That's the experimentation stage. So the environment, you need to set up what we call an environment. So what is an environment? So environment is nothing more than a collection of Python packages that you need for a script. When you want to make for MLOps operation, you'll be writing what we call scripts that's going to be run in jobs or in pipeline. So in these times, you are going to be you'll be understanding all these terms mean as you go further into this work. So now, you need to set up the first thing. You need to set up an environment. Okay, so that environment will be the environment of that the Python package you're going to be using. Like, are you going to be using NumPy? Are you going to be using scikit-learn or TensorFlow or PyTorch? Is either for when people are working with deep learning projects, you either use PyTorch or scikit-learn, or TensorFlow. So you need to develop the power. You need to design on the versions on the one that you'll be working with. So now this is how everything looks like from development, pre-production, then final to production. So you need to know how to automate all these things. So when we on the Azure platform, that's what we call role-based access. Because in a company now, there can be many developers, right? You can be the machine learning engineer. That might be a data analyst, and there must also be other people that you work with on the project. So there's a way you can assign role. Not everybody should be given access to the on the Azure platform. Not everybody has the same access. You'll be learning this. You can use what we call web access to give them the right level of access, because you can't give someone too much permission to the workspace. All these things that I'm talking about that you are carrying, we call this workspace on the Azure platform. So the place that you'll be carrying out your experimentation, the pre-production and production, your deployment, your everything, your testing, your training, everything on the Azure platform, we call it workspace. You can't give everybody the same permission, the same level of permission, because you don't want them to go and break anything, right? So you need to implement what you call role-based access control. So now, this is a simple architecture of an MLOps, right? So you need to first store your data, just like I said. You need to first draft out this is a simple draft of an architecture, right? So the first one is the setup. So in this setup, you are going to the resources they are going to use. So since now that you are good, you are good with all these technologies that I've been saying. You know when to use a compute cluster, you know when to use batch endpoint or the likes, you know when to use a Jupyter notebook or when to use virtual machines, compute cluster, all these general purpose CPU, GPU, all these things. So you need to define all these in your setup. You need to define everything in what we call the script. So that's why Python is very important. You need to know how to write Python codes, right? So you define all these things in your Python code. Then the development, more development. So now there's the model development stage. In in your Python code, you are going to there's a section where you will section your code for the development. This is where the processing of data will happen automatically, right? Where we process data and it train and evaluate the model. So now for you to be able to make your machine, we're going to touch more things later on. That's what we call register. You have to register your model. For you to make it your model eligible for what we call MLOps, you need to register it. That's when we'll be touching on what we call ML flow package that we are going to be touching on it later on. So now ML flow will help you to register your model and everything. So that you can be able to track the versions on. So if it's tracking your versions, it's giving you logs on performance and everything. So then after you are done with development stage of your code and you design to register the model by using ML flow, then you need to deploy the model. So depending on the place, are you using batch instance or what, or real-time inference model? So depending on whichever one you want to use, then you need to continuously deploy your model. That means inside the script, you need to write the code that will just test the model and promote it. So maybe that the model cannot promote to production unless it has at least 91% performance, right? So this is where the deployment will occur, right? So now this place, you write the script that, okay, if it meets a particular threshold or particular performance, it can push. So that this will help you to not push bad models. Then the model that you just built right now, right, is performing worse than the model that's in the production already. So it won't pass that stage. So you need to give it, so there's a way you can implement all this in the code. I'm going to be touching on this later on during the course. So now, finally, now you've not deployed, so you need to be monitoring the model, right? You need to monitor, okay, now you've deployed the model, it has been in production. Yes, so you need to keep monitoring it in the performance. You monitor the endpoint by sending it parameters to check the performance. So now, how do you now monitor? So you can monitor the model. Yeah, ML flow is also what you can use to be tracking and monitor your model over time. So there's ML flow that we are going to be touching more on it on how to use it. So that's also what we call responsible AI. We are going to be so now when you see responsible AI. So responsible AI talks about like the model you build. Does it conform to the responsible AI designed by the AI committee? That's what we call responsible AI. Like the AI should be responsible AI. Let me see. There are some let me see. When you build a model, right? Your work is not yet done. You need to make sure that your AI conforms to what we call responsible AI. So now how do you know your model is responsible, conform to the ethics of responsible AI? There are some things you check. Yes. So there are some aspects of this is to make sure that your AI is what is responsible. Sorry, it's fair. So now this is it. This is how you ensure that your AI, your model, conforms to the ethics of responsible AI. It has to be fair. That means, for instance, now, let's say that in the data set or that the AI collects. So maybe there are some white people and some black people. And maybe let's say that we build the AI for a course that passes judgment on people. and you see that, okay, so after building the AI and you made the AI to pass judgment on criminals, right? You notice that the AI usually give the worst judgment to black people and give the good judgment to whites. So that means your AI is not fair, right? So you need to make sure that your AI is fair. It conducts to this responsible AI. So you need to, these are the 6 principles. When you are developing AI, you need to ensure that it follows these 6 principles, or else your AI is not being is not conducted to the principle of machine learning. So the first thing is fairness. Second is reliability. So when they go about fairness is that the ones that just like he treats people equally. It doesn't treat more people better than the other. Then the other one is reliability and safety. So what is reliability and safety? That means that the AI should be very reliable and safely, and should be consistent. That mean the AI, when it gives you, when you ask you something today using one particular parameter, so that parameter, you pass it to it a month later, it should still give you that particular result. So there's a way you can test all these in the Azure platform, and it has to be transparent. That means this how the AI is working should be shown to people. Do you understand? Because the people doesn't see how the AI works, how transparent it is. You need to make your AI transparent. Okay, you need to make it transparent. So that's the way you can make it easily transparent using. So now that's what we call privacy and security, which is very also important. One of the important when it comes to data protection and all these laws. So you make sure that your model, that it has you implement the privacy and security principle into it. It doesn't like, you need to restrict, you need to protect people's data. Do you get? So you need to give privacy to people's data. So that's what you call accountability. So now, so you need to be, the AI should be accountable, right? How do you make your AI accountable? So you need to is by making sure that is a because AI, their decision can change people's lives. Depending, well, this happens every day. Depends. Some people can get a job. Most company now, when you are when let's say that in a company, about 100 people apply for a job, you guys submitted your CV. What is making the decision before it gets to the actual human resources, AI? So you need to make sure that the AI is accountable, because it can cause a lot of backlash, it says bad on the reputation of AI. That is AI good, or is AI relevant at all? So you need to always include all this into your work, right? It needs to be fair, reliable. It has to ensure privacy of people's data. You need to include everyone. There should be the working ambition of the AI should be transparent, right? So, and it has to be accountable for his action, for his. So how do you include all this into the on the Azure platform? We're going to be touching on this I think on the 4 or 3. I'm going to be touching on how to implement this to make sure that your AI is making fair predictions, and how to monitor it. So the infrastructure, we can make all this can be implemented in your MLOps. So we are going to be showing you how to write the scripts that we automate like the environment, starting with this, so that you'll be able to monitor your data. So now what we see here now is an endpoint, right? So you send the data to it. Maybe January, you generate data to it. You got the data and it gave you a particular prediction. So on February, you gave it the data and didn't give you. So you need to. That's what we call data drift in data. So when you are monitoring your data, you need to monitor it for many things, including to the data, to the responsible AI that I'm talking about. You need to monitor it for that. And you need to also be monitoring your data, right? You need to be monitoring your data. That's what we call data drift. For instance, now data used in a particular month. Like after you predicted the model, now when you train the model, you train on a particular type of parameters. So maybe they are using maybe in this year now, the company, their currency they use is dollars, right? And the next month they start using euro. So the data has drifted. So, and this thing can deeply affect the performance of your data. So you need to be monitoring for data drift. And yeah, so when you notice there's a data drift over time, that's why I see that a model that you build in 2023 cannot function in 2024 because no matter what, technology will change. Some things will change on the data, which is also called what you call data drift. So you need to know how to retrain the model, which is why you need what we call an MLOps architecture. When you know this data drift, so you don't need to waste time on developing again, carrying an experimentation, doing testing it, then giving to production to that what we call an MLOps operation, so that we automate all these things and make it easy for you. So the whole point of MLOps architecture is to make the retraining of models easy. So generally, there are two approaches to trigger this retraining, right? So it can be on a schedule, or it can be on a particular metrics. So the metrics that you'll be looking for. So when I say it's on the schedule, that means you just want the latest model to be available. So in your MLS architecture, you can just trigger it. That's what we call there's a way you can trigger it in the Azure platform using jobs and pipeline. So you show you how to do that. How to do that. So you can be triggered that okay, every 1 week, the machine learning, Azure machine learning platforms triggers this trading automatically without you doing anything at all. So you've written the code already, just trigger the whole training process. It takes in new data, you train the model, make sure that the model meets a particular performance criteria, then it sends it to the production for use by the consumer, right? Or you can, if you don't want it to be on a schedule, it can also be based on metrics. So when you are monitoring your model performance and the data drifts, you want what you want, so you can be on these metrics. That whenever you notice there is maybe the performance of the model in production. Maybe initially when you deployed it initially, it was performing at 7%. I know that it has gotten to maybe 70%. That's very bad. You can put a threshold that's 80% or 70% that whenever the percentage gets to that particular level, we should trigger a retraining. Or when you notice that the data being used by the consumer, that there's been a change, all this thing can be deployed in the script, in the script that you are going to be writing. So when you notice data drift, it's going to trigger a retraining of the model. So these are all you call. So now you need to prepare your code with the appropriate parameters, right? So we need to touch about parameter values. We'll be touching on this later on. So while you're training your data, that's what we call a parameter that you can be training to make sure that your data, your model give you the utmost performance, the optimal performance. So all these things, you need to implement everything in your code, the automation of your process. So there are 3 ways that you can work. When you talk about all these things I'm saying, everything can be done on the Azure platform. So there are 3 ways. There are 3 ways that you can develop, you can do all this development on the platform. You can use the Azure Machine Learning Python SDK, which you can use through the Jupyter Notebook. So when we go to the platform, you are going to be seeing all this, or you can do it from what we call the Azure CLI. So and you can also do this from Azure DevOps with GitOps to trigger the automation of the code. So yeah, so with this, we have come to the, let me see, where is the, so with all this now, we'll be able to introduce you to the platform, right? So actually, though I know we didn't work on anything today. So today is more of to an overview, like, okay, what are you going to be learning for the whole 5 days? What are you going to be doing? Yes. So we're talking about the like we want to build a machine learning solution using Azure platform, Microsoft Azure platform. You need to have what we call a data ingestion strategy, right? Then the next thing is that okay, you have the data ingestion strategy. Then you need to design a machine learning model training solution. That means you need to know the type of model you use to train your machine learning model. You need to know how to design it. You need to know the compute you use. You need to know the requirements for it. You need to know that, okay, all these four modules, all these that we talk about, the data ingestion strategy, machine learning model strategy, deployment strategy, and machine learning operation strategy. All this is based on the 6 process that we talked about. So all 6 process of machine learning. So when you're done with data strategy for the project, then you will design a model that so you know how to how to decide on the how to decide on the projects, on the model that you use. There, okay, if you are working with a computer vision, you know the algorithms available for you, right? And you be able to use the compute options. When you are doing when you are working with computer vision, the best is for you to go for GPU, right? Especially when data is plenty. GPU is the best when you are working for when you are training a computer vision machine learning task. So now, when you're not done training a model, you need to make it available to your customers, to the people that will use it, to the consumer. So you need to design on the deployment solution. So now, the deployment solution can be you need to decide, okay, should it be real time or should it be batch based? Okay, so you need to decide on, okay, if you are going to be using real time, there's a particular compute resources for it to different from what you use in the development stage. This stage is the production stage. So you need to decide on, okay, for the production now, I want to deploy my model. Is it real time based or batch based? All these things you will know it's in your problem definition stage. This is the first stage of the when you define the problem. So this is why that's why I said that the machine learning process is iterative. You always need to go back to the start. You don't just know it at once and it's not straightforward. It's an editing. So you need to go back, then come back, then keep iterating until you get your solution done. So after I decide on the machine learning deployment method, they need to know how you need to have an architecture for bridging the gap from development to production. Because, for instance, now Facebook can be using a model that recommends people. Sorry, let me use Amazon. Amazon is using an AI to recommend people. Let me use Amazon or Netflix. So imagine that the model they want to create a new model now, and the model that they are using currently for recommending to their consumer has issues, right? Or is doing less, is performing lesser than the metrics that you decided. So you can't be wasting time on development exploration again. You need to automate this process. This is why MLOps is very important. So these are the 4. This is an overview of what all these 5 days with machine learning is going to entail. So we are going to be showing you how all these things can be done using the machine learning, using the portal, using the Azure platform. Okay. So and one thing that's important that you guys need to know, you need what we call an Azure subscription. Please, my colleague sent something to the chat for you on how to create an Azure subscription. You can get a $200 free credit. Okay, like I tell you, all these things you are using on this cloud, everything is paid. So that's why you need to know the best when working. For instance, now when working with maybe just a simple IoT data that is not more than 100,000 rows. GPU is too much for you, so you don't need to use GPU. You need to use what we call compute clusters, or when you monitor it and you see that, okay, it's not using the compute cluster, then you can go for compute something like a virtual machine. So all these things, as you are using more, as you are using all as you are going to be going over, you'll be seeing cost is attached. One costs $2 per hour, some cost $66 per hour. Do you understand? So you need to know the best one that fits your scenario or your use case and the problem you want to solve. So everything starts from the problem. So let me go back to my slides. So I start taking your questions. Okay, let me stop sharing the screen. So let me start again and open the slide. So now we've gotten over all this. We went through all these. We went through all these modules now. So from this now, I believe you guys should be able to know when you talk about data ingestion strategy, what you should have in mind, and and the model training strategy too, what you should have in mind when you're talking about deploying your work, your solution, the model that you build, what you have in mind. So, and the machine learning ops, the MLOps, how to bridge the gap between development and production, how to make it almost instantaneous, but how to make it very fast, right? So now this is the machine learning process. Like I said, everything starts from the defining the problem, getting the data, prepare the data, then train the model, integrating model means the deployment, right? And the monitor the model. That's where you need to maintain your performance. You need to monitor the performance, right? So while monitoring, you need to be making sure that you retrain the model. That's where MLOps comes in. Like maybe the performance is getting lower, then you be able to automate all this process, the training process, the retraining process again, so you can get a good model. And maybe when there is a data drift, which is a very issue you guys need to take into caution, because since data changes over time, the kind of data you are using in 2024 for models changes will be changed by next year or even beyond the end of the year. So you need to monitor for all these changes from your consumer. So now I'll be taking your questions, or let me check if there's any question for me in the chat. Is there any question for me?
Hello, Emmanuel. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much for this superb delivery. Yeah, so there are questions in the chat actually, and we've stepped up on some of them. So maybe I'll just go through and read some of them to you.
Okay.
Is
Okay,
that
sir.
okay, or do you want to go through the chat yourself?
Please read it for me, please.
Okay, thank you. Um, so just a minute. So while you were also talking, we also tried to even provide answers to some of the questions, but the ones that we could not provide answers to, we'll just provide answers. We'll just read the question out for you to provide answers now. So there are questions as regarding creating an account. So people are confused either they should use their personal account or they need to create a school account or something that will allow them to be able to sign in on Azure. So I don't know if it's something you can elaborate on what works best. I mean, what is the best approach to this?
Okay. So thank you for reading the questions to me. So now so for you guys not confused about the option to use, either is okay for you, right? So you can either go through the student's route or the normal account. But from what I'm seeing, the normal when you want to create the normal account, right? You have to get what we call a dollar card that we charge, I think $1 or so. So that the whole point of them is that when you are using their resources, you guys need to make sure that when you are using resources on this cloud, when you are done using it, please shut it down and delete it. Okay, because these resources they incur costs. Maybe when you are just done with a work project now, I need to shut it down and delete the resources. So so the reason why is that they incur charges from these providers. No, they give you 200 free credit. Some people misuse it. So that's why they want you to attach your card to it. But for the students, you guys don't need to attach any card. As long as you are a current student in any university, I'm not sure maybe poly, but I currently have my student account at I had on my undergraduate days, it's still active. So I'm still able to access $100 free credits from Azure platform due to my studentship. So if you know that you can't go to the route of the dollar card, it's just $1, which I don't think $1 is too much for you to get $200 free credits. But if you have a working email, I will highly suggest you go to that. So if you have a working student email, that means the one that ends with your school. That means let's say Unijust now, it has to end with at unijust.edu.ng. You can use it to register and get access to $100. Or if you don't have that, you can go to the route of a normal email. Everything is can be everything. I'm seeing the chat now that my colleague she's sending you the links. So use that link, and you'll be able to create an account. So depending on which scenario you fall into, so so it depends on your own requirements. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. That was spot on. Yeah, I think the response clarified the question. Another similar question is someone who said, I once registered for Azure platform using student accounts and the subscription has expired. Can I re-register it?
Yes. Yeah, can I go on?
So that's just another similar question. So I think most questions on the chat, it's just about registering for now. Yeah, well, today is the first class, and yes, it's the introductory class. So we'll just encourage everyone. So we've shared many links actually in the chat. There are links on how to even create an account without a credit card. There are different links that we've shared if you've been following in the chat. So we encourage everybody to click on the links. Yeah, click on the links to creating an Azure account, links to signing, links to create an Azure for student account without an institutional mail. And then there's another one with no credit card. So we've also tried our best to get some of these links to help everyone out. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. There are lots of thank you also in the chat. I can see Ashom saying thank you for imparting us. Yeah, because this has been a wonderful 2 hours. It has been a wonderful 2 hours. Okay,
It's
so
my
Idile
pleasure.
Ayomide is saying, let me see. I'm a student secondary school and the free account in university email. Wow, Oyedele, this is interesting. This is interesting. So you will need to get, yeah, you will need a university mail address actually for you to be able to get on the platform, except if you can okay, so there's a link up there on how to create an account without an institutional mail. So try and check the link, look at it carefully and see if it's something that will work for you. Yeah, so we'll drop the link already in the chat. So check that particular link out, see if it's something that will work for you. Yeah, like I said, it's been a wonderful 2 hours. Thank you so much, Emmanuel, for doing this for us. So Miriam is saying, what if you are not a student of? Yeah, so Miriam, just like I said, we've dropped links in the chat. So check some of the links on how to create your account. Abubakar is saying thank you, our tutor. Yes, thank you so much. Ichijuku is saying thanks for this great teaching and thanks to the SN team. Yeah, thank you also for joining. Thank you also for joining. And thank you, Chidima. The chat has been busy. Yeah, the chat has been busy. Thank you for engaging our participants. So the conversation continues on the Telegram group. We have our dedicated support, and Mr. Emmanuel will also be on the group. If there are any questions you have, you can always drop them on the Telegram group. We'll share the links to the Telegram group. We'll share it severally during the class. Thank you so much, everyone. I think this is a good time to end the meeting for today. Remember that this class goes on till Friday. Yeah, it's 5 days of these free AI classes for this cohort machine learning with Azure. So we'll see you again tomorrow, same time and same venue. Yeah. So just click on this link again tomorrow, and I will be happy to take you on another learning experience. Thank you so much, everyone. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.